Hello, everyone. Tazar2 here, and welcome back to the Lads Podcast. I'm your host, Taylor House. Jerry, you want to do your thing?
Oh, I don't have a thing, but all right.
Yeah, you
Hi.
have to say you're my co-host.
Yeah,
Remember?
you usually do that though, but all right, I can do that. Hi,
Okay.
I'm the co-host here, Jerry Miller. Hi.
And today we have a special guest. Please welcome Josh Hornberger.
Hello, hello. Thanks for having me.
Glad you're here. It took us forever to set this up. Actually, we
It
uh
did.
we spent a few hours trying to get the call to work.
I had to download Facebook so we could even do this.
Well, we're here. That's what matters.
Right.
So so Josh, why don't you tell people a little bit about yourself?
Oof. Okay. You got an hour? Uh, yeah, a little bit about myself. All right. Well, as you know, my name's Josh. I graduated with Taylor in Rising Sun High School, class of 2020. I've been uh, I've been pretty busy since we've graduated. I now have a new job, and I start a second job Tuesday. Um, I'm now podcasting, thanks to Taylor helping me. He's the one that actually showed me how to use Anchor and everything, how to get it started. Um, so, and I'm a full-time Cecil College student. So
So you got
I
two jobs, a podcast, and college.
yep. So I like uh, I definitely enjoy the days when I get to sleep. That's for sure. Today wasn't one of those days. Yep. So that's me.
So yeah, we are all pretty much content creators, aren't we?
Yeah, I would say so. Jerry, you're not into TikTok, are you, though?
TikTok.
No.
Good, bro, because I don't want to be swiping through TikTok and see you doing the WAP. I might have to delete the app. Seriously, though, that's getting to be a little problem
Yeah,
with TikTok.
that sounds like a problem. I'm not even on TikTok. I don't have it
I'm not on
downloaded.
there as much as I used to be. Man.
That's interesting. There were some things coming down from the FCC about stopping updates for that, which is
Oh, really?
interesting because it's owned by a Chinese company
Mm-hmm.
and they were investigating the data it collects, and it's just a bit too much for their liking.
Right. I heard Trump was going to take it down, but I guess I don't know what happened with that.
That's pretty much what he was talking about. And then the FCC said in November, I think it was like early November, they're going to stop. Uh, they're going to stop the updates from happening, and then
Huh.
later they'll shut down the servers
I'm not.
unless an American company buys it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm not against them taking down TikTok because it's just one less thing that's getting one less toxic thing that's getting taken down. Like I'm still waiting for Fortnite to be
Fortnite.
done. So
Well, Apple took it down because
yeah, I did hear about that.
they did a workaround on the so they want to take a cut of their V-Buck money.
Oh, is that why?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
So
crazy.
so another thing was what was it? Yeah, the people that are offering to buy TikTok. There is Oracle, which is a computer company. Makes sense,
Mhm.
right? They made the Java system, and for and then there was another offer from Walmart.
Oh, really?
Imagine opening your Walmart app, like you're going to buy some groceries, and then it's just TikTok.
What's Walmart gonna do with TikTok though?
I'm assuming they're just gonna buy it and have it so their money can make more money.
Yeah, I mean that is the Walmart way.
I
I've seen a documentary on Walmart,
I believe
and
they're the richest company.
they're about up there, bro. Like, uh, but I was watching this documentary, and it's crazy. Like with the sweatshops they have in third world countries, uh, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's sad, but
Yeah, Walmart
you know,
is the largest company by revenue.
huh?
They
I mean,
make
I don't doubt it.
they make I'm assuming this is yearly revenue, 523. Oh, that's in millions. 523,964 million. So that's
Hmm.
500 billion, a little bit over.
Yeah, I think they can afford TikTok.
Yeah, they
I
might.
think they might just be able to do that. Yeah. Well, I guess Kmart walked so Walmart could run.
Yeah.
You don't see any more Kmart's, do you?
No, I think they aren't they completely gone now? There's
I
no
I
Kmart's
I
think
left.
think
so.
I know a lot of the
I
closer ones closed down.
Oh shoot, my computer's not plugged in.
Uh-oh.
Let me
So,
fix it.
speaking of, things that are going on in the political landscape, there is a
Mhm.
new Supreme Court justice that
Yes.
is being confirmed, Amy Coney Barrett. And I just
Hmm.
wanted to share with you a little thing that she said in
All
her
right.
in her hearing. So she was answering, questions as you do.
Hmm.
And uh yeah, Cornyn, he asks her if she's using notes and asks her to hold up the notepad that's in front of her. So she
Yes.
holds up the notepad and it's blank. And he
Hmm.
asks, "Is there anything on it?" And she responds, "The letterhead that says United States Senate," which I thought was probably the most savage thing this year,
I know, bro.
with the exception of Joe Biden telling the President of the United States to shut up.
Really, I just think with that, he just doesn't even know what's going on, but I'm not gonna get political.
Yeah. We like to only be semi-political on this podcast.
Right. Sometimes I let all my red show. If you get
Yeah,
my speaking.
I get what you mean.
Yeah, but Judge Amy Barrett, that is a hot topic. In fact, I just published my episode just before we started recording here, and I actually talked a little bit about it. And that's funny how that works. But I definitely support the nomination of Judge Amy Barrett. I think that that on both sides of the aisle, like she's regarded as highly capable and qualified for a seat on the Supreme Court. Um, but if it weren't for like the highly politicized timings of the hearing, like there would be no question,
Right.
in my opinion.
Yeah, from what I see, she seems very sharp.
Yeah,
Like I think she could definitely handle it.
absolutely. Yeah, it's just they were saying like the big topic. I don't know if you guys watch the news like I do, but the big topic was how I think it was Biden that said it's unconstitutional for Trump to nominate a judge right before the election. Um, and the last time that it's been done like this would be Lincoln's back when Lincoln was president, and that he chose not to till after the election. What are you guys thinking about that?
I mean, I think you probably need to fill the seat now, so
Yeah, yeah, that's what
take
I'm
care of
thinking.
it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's kind of where I stand too. Like, it's kind of weird that he's just gonna be appointing someone and then leaving, kind of thing. If he leaves,
Mhm.
which who knows if he will or won't win. But it does seem a bit weird to appoint someone just before an election. Because like, what if you do lose, and then it just seems like that kind of thing. You know, just, I don't know. That's just how I see it. It just But
It
I guess you're qualified
it's
enough.
a little
I haven't
strange
really looked
because it
into
hasn't
much.
been done before.
Right.
Well, this year is definitely about things
New
not doing
stuff.
things before.
Right. Right.
Yeah, everything's different.
And
But I, I found like the number one reason. I don't know if you guys heard, but like I mentioned this on my podcast. I'm just like repeating what I just recorded, but I found it interesting that there was many during the hearing, there was many callbacks to her attacking her faith because she's a Catholic, and they thought that if because she was so um, because she was so oriented in her faith that it would skew her ability to judge, which I you know I'm baffled by that, you know.
it yeah, the legal things it's the law. You can't change that because of what you believe in.
Right.
Right.
I mean, this country was founded on religious freedom. That's why we started America, um, because we had no freedom of religion back in England years ago, you know? So,
Yeah, freedom of religion and now we're silencing it.
exactly.
I
Yeah,
mean, I don't see that as being what their issue is with her being so into her beliefs. I guess if that's the word. I think their problem is separation of church and state. They don't want someone in there who would try to only pass laws that would serve a certain religion or something. They want it to be fair to everyone, regardless of religion. And they're afraid, I suppose, that they might be afraid that she, being a devout Catholic, would not be as fair to people of other religions or other beliefs. And I think that's their issue.
see, here's the thing. The Supreme Court doesn't pass laws.
Hmm.
So they don't they don't have a say in what what passes. They just have a say in being a referee, basically checking and seeing if these rules don't break other rules.
All right, then in
Yeah.
that case, it might be an issue of bias. They may feel that she's biased towards one way or another.
The question is, how could she be biased if she's just checking laws? She's not.
Well, I mean, if she's a judge or a mediator, as you say, well, then if a mediator is biased, they'll take one side over another.
Speaking of mediators that are biased, we we've been seeing a lot of that. Let me just add
We
that in
have
there.
been, right? We have. Are you referring to the presidential debate?
I'm referring to all three or two that we've seen. The president's one and the vice president one. And then we had that town hall, was it last night? I don't know if you guys saw that, but that
I
was
didn't see the town hall,
insane.
but I saw the other ones.
That was crazy. That woman, I forget her name, but the lady that was pressing Donald Trump, I swear that was like Scooby Doo. Chris Wallace was under the mask. That was him. Yeah.
That was interesting. That's what I heard about. That was the one thing.
Hmm.
So speaking of you talking about your podcast, for the people that don't know, what is your podcast?
Well, my podcast is a Christian podcast. I've been raised my entire life as a Southern Baptist Christian. So I've always wanted to start a podcast, and when I saw that you guys had started the Lads, I was like, wow, this is awesome. So I started listening in and just asking questions, and I got my own started. So like I said, um, I just put up episode 5 before we started here. But it's really an interesting process. I will say that. The amount of preparation, I know we've talked a little about that. Um, but the preparation is for just one episode is insane. And I'm sure you guys can relate to that.
Yeah, I can relate whenever I'm doing something scripted. It takes some time.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, dude. All my stuff is scripted, so I literally got papers all around my desk right now.
Well, that sounds like you're putting good work in.
Yeah, I do try. Um, but yeah, like I said, my podcast is a very uh, Christian focused podcast. I try and discuss the whole theme of the podcast is taking current event issues, problems that we face, and using the Bible to understand answers, to find what God says about the problem.
So
Um,
you're contextualizing real world problems with the Bible and what God's word.
right. And so because I mentioned Judge Amy Barrett in my episode today, which we also did here, um, I, the theme is the reputation and how Judge Amy Barrett's reputation is being analyzed by the entire country um, on the television, and with the state hearings and everything. So everyone's looking on who this person is, what she stands for, why should they nominate her as the next Supreme Court justice? It's all about her reputation and her name, and that's what episode 5 is all about, having a good or bad reputation. So by the time we're done recording here, it should probably be out on all platforms.
Yeah, it takes a little bit. It takes like for my podcast and it's longer, so
Hmm.
it takes a little bit longer. So my podcast usually takes about to get on at least Spotify. All the other ones they really don't matter unless maybe Google Podcast
Hmm.
might matter. But for the rest of them, it's probably just about I want to say a little bit under an hour, like 40 minutes maybe, for it to go
Yeah,
out.
that's our usual running time. Oh, to go out. I thought you were referring to running time or something.
No,
That's about our running time as well.
yeah,
Hmm. Yeah, I get emails like 3 days after I posted that my episode is now available on some other podcast platform.
yeah. So what Anchor does is it distributes it on every platform,
Hmm.
and these platforms, they take time to sift through the different podcasts and accept or deny them.
Hmm.
And it's also got to set up all the code to make it work because podcasts work off of this interesting thing. I'm going to talk about coding for a second. It works off this thing called RSS, which is
Right.
which is web based, and it hosts a file. It's file hosting. So if I made a website and it just had this file, that's pretty much what it is.
Hmm.
And that's how they started, and that's how most of them are, except Spotify does the thing where you can download it, and it makes it all pretty and stuff like that.
Right. Yeah, I wanted to ask you actually, what are your thoughts on Anchor?
Anchor is good to get your podcast out, I think.
Mm.
If you want it out on as many platforms as possible, you use Anchor for free without
Hmm.
doing the legwork.
Yeah, I've asked around. I have my pastor actually has a podcast. So I ask him questions and I try and implement that into my own. But I've asked around, I've looked on YouTube and seen all these reviews, and a lot of people don't like Anchor. And there was like this whole thing going around where Anchor owns your product and you don't own it yourself. Um, and at first I was like, okay, I've put all this time into it already, and I've only been doing it for a month. And if they own my name, they own every podcast. My name being the podcast title, which is Redeemable. And if they own it all, then why am I doing it? But so I reached out to Anchor and I asked them like what in terms of what are the rights? Like, do I own my own product? And they emailed me in like 10 hours and it's like, no, you completely own your product, we just distribute it. So I was like, okay, so my faith in Anchor has been restored, definitely.
Yeah, so Anchor is Spotify's service. That's why it always comes out on Spotify first, because it's automatically okayed.
Hmm.
So Spotify owns that, and what they do is I could see how they can make money without taking your name,
Uh-huh.
because they have the money feature, the one where you can inject sponsorships.
Yeah,
So that's how they make money. You inject the sponsorships, and they get revenue off of that, and you take a little cut. It's like,
yeah.
I didn't read the agreement, but usually they're around 10-20%,
Hmm.
and they
Not
take the
bad for a
rest.
free service.
Yeah, which means, like, if you have a small audience, like say 25 people, that's not going to make a dent in anything.
Right. Yeah.
So, do you want to impart any wisdom on the viewers, as you have the Christian podcast that you impart wisdom on? If you want to impart any wisdom on our audience, I think that would be okay.
Okay. Um, well, like we said earlier, I didn't have a message or anything planned, um, because I've been working on episode 5, but I thought that we could just talk about. Do you guys have a favorite piece of scripture, a favorite verse?
I know I do. It's in my I have a table in my kitchen that has
Hmm.
a that has a paraphrase Bible verse. It's it's First Corinthians 13:8 or 4 through 8. So it goes like this: Love is patient and kind. Love is not jealous or boastful or proud or rude. It does not demand its own way. It is not irritable. It keeps no record of being wronged. It does not rejoice about injustice, but rejoices when the truth wins out. Love never gives up, never loses faith, is always hopeful, and endures through every circumstance.
Mm,
So this verse basically defines love,
yes,
which I think is very powerful, because love is a very powerful emotion,
absolutely.
and the way it personifies it definitely resonates with me, and it's something that I kind of live by. By this definition of love, that's how I should treat people, because that's how you treat people: love and respect.
Right. Yeah, the Bible is a book. My I heard this and I never forgot it. The Bible is rated R. Okay, it's not PG-13. If you read it and fully understand it, it is a roller coaster. It talks about uh, everything there is, every problem we have today. You can find an answer within the Bible, and the Bible is like thousands of years old. I don't know how old the Bible is, but um, every topic that we have, we can discuss it with the Bible, and that's exactly why I thought it was so insane that um, like what we talked about earlier with Judge Amy Barrett and how they are afraid that her judging is going to be um, you know sabotaged because she's so in touch with her faith. You know what I'm saying? Because it kind of contradicts itself because the Bible is the truth, and and at the end of the day, God is judge. He makes the rules. He carries out the law. But I would say I would say for my favorite verse, getting back on track, um, would be Joshua 1:8. And this verse is actually important to me because of course, my name is Joshua. I was born on January 8th, 1/8. So I just looked this verse just to see what it would say one day. And it reads, This book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth, but thou shalt meditate therein day and night, that thou mayest observe to do according to all that is written therein. For then thou shalt make thy way prosperous, and then thou shalt have good success. And the next verse reads, Have not I commanded thee, be strong and of good courage, be not afraid, neither be thou dismayed, for the Lord thy God is with thee wherever thou go. So, that I was kind of shocked when I read that the first time. I was like, wow, what a powerful verse. It's talking about, this book that we're reading is the law, and to keep it always in on our mouth, you know?
Yeah, so remember this book because you're gonna need it, pretty much.
Exactly. The Bible is, like, let's be honest, our generation, it is not Bible focused. And the way I see it, the farther we go from reading the Bible, and the farther we go from God not being in our country, the worse it gets, you know?
I can
Like,
definitely see that, and I do think more people should find God. They definitely if we have something to be unified under, maybe not everyone has to be unified under it, because
hmm
cause I've seen several people that I understand why they can't, and it hurts me to see it. You know, people feel wronged by him, or people feel abandoned by him. Certain things that are said or stigmatized uh, under like stigmas that people create about the Lord that are completely wrong. Things that or or certain people that are Christians don't always follow the idea that they should love everyone.
hmm
And I think that's really unfortunate, and that turns people away. But yes, I do think that if more people found God, it would definitely be more fortunate for our country.
It, you're right, because we are we are called to love. We are to love everyone as ourselves. Um, because like, there's so many verses that you could choose from, like Romans 5 verse 8. But God condemns his love towards us, in that while we were yet sinners, Christ died for us. That's just a demonstration of while we were sinners, while we are sinners, God loved us so much that he sent his son down uh, to take the sin debt for us. And the Bible is a story of love. Of all things, like, you can summarize it as a story of love because of how much that God loved us, how much Jesus loved us, that he died for us. you know but a lot of people like to stop it there and say Jesus loved you so much that he died for you, and then that'd be the end of the conversation. But if that was it, if Jesus died for you, Jesus would be no different from Buddha or Allah or any of the other religious God figures that people worship around the world. The difference with Jesus is that you can't find his remains, because the tomb rolled away, the stone rolled away 3 days later. Because you can find the remains of Buddha, but you can't find the remains of Jesus, because he rose again, proclaiming he's God. So really, that's because I've preached that message on the boardwalk. I've been doing missionary work for 4 years, 4.5 years. Yeah, this summer was a little different because of COVID, but um, I've been doing preaching on the boardwalk. I've preached in front of about 300 people um, at one time. I've done 2 messages at my church, and it's like you said, the Bible. There's so many different places you can find where the Bible is about love, and what Jesus did for us. Because if you think about it, Jesus didn't have to die on the cross, but he did it because he loved us. And it wasn't the nails that held him on the cross, it was his love for you. That's why he died.
Right?
That's
Because
why
it's not just God's love; it's everyone else too.
right.
And it wouldn't be proper for us to kind of stain his name and just don't treat others with respect.
Right. Right. Because we're called to love one another.
Exactly.
I actually have a verse somewhere. Let me find that. Yeah, Ephesians 4 verse 32. And be ye kind one to another, tender-hearted, forgiving one another, even as God for Christ's sake hath forgiven you. That's another big thing that we, can talk about is forgiveness. What do you guys think about forgiveness?
We haven't heard Jerry talk in a while. Where is he?
Yeah, I'm trying
Hi,
to get.
I've been back here in the background a bit.
So we're talking about forgiveness.
Yeah, what's your take, Jerry?
Um, how do you mean though? How do you mean for like
Any type.
specifically any type of forgiveness? Yeah, just someone's wronged you. Then yeah, I've never been one to hold a grudge kind of thing. I don't care. Well, I mean, I do care if someone's wronged me, but like it's easier for me to just let it go, put it in the past, and just forgive, because the only person I'm hurting for holding that grudge is myself, because they don't care probably that I'm mad at them or something. So it's better, for me personally, it's just better to let it go. That's how I see it.
Yeah. What about you,
Sometimes
Taylor?
sometimes letting it go can be hard, but I feel like it's the optimal way to take care of
Hmm.
it. You know, forgiveness is definitely something that more people need to do. People are
I can
still
definitely
holding
agree with
on.
that.
People
Yeah,
are still holding on to ideas that, or not ideas, but things that happened hundreds of years ago on both sides. You know, I'll give you an example of racism. People are still racist, and people are still thinking that the entire world is racist.
Hmm.
Systemic racism. Now, some people have opted to forgive that. Some people have opted to forgive that, this happened hundreds of years ago, and most people aren't like this anymore. So I'm going to forgive the entirety of everyone for what has happened in the past. And then there's people on the other side saying, "Oh, I'm willing to forgive the the wrongs that have been made to their people for hundreds of years in the past." And then there's people on the other side who willing to are willing to accept those people and forgive them to what they think was wronged, or they think there's nothing wrong at all, which
Hmm.
would be the intrinsic hope. Because, people shouldn't be judged on the color of their skin. And most people believe that. There are people
Right.
that don't, and, maybe they will have a change of heart. You gotta be ready to forgive people.
Bro, that's funny you mentioned, you mentioned that. I have lost friends over my stance against racism, okay? I've and and I've literally had to deal with exactly what you're talking about. I forgiving because I've lost like one of my closest friends to this because we got in an argument over over racism, and I was telling him that it's not okay. And the reason why I know it's not okay is because the Bible talks about how it's not okay, and we're supposed to love everyone, and it doesn't matter Jew or Gentile or whatever race you are, you know. Um, we're called to love, and it doesn't. Love isn't. Love doesn't stop at a certain race, you know. Um, it's definitely hard because I brought up forgiveness because that was always a hard topic for me to grasp personally, because not that I hold a grudge, but when I know that someone wrongs me, you know, it's always, I guess I'm either stubborn or stupid, but I've always been um, kind of slow on the forgiving process, which is definitely a flaw that I have. It's definitely gotten, better since I've grown up as you know, gotten
Yeah,
older, but
more mature.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not everyone's perfect.
Hmm.
Everyone's got their flaws, and you know what? It's okay that you're a little bit slow to forgive. I mean, I'm not exactly quick to forgive either.
Hmm.
If somebody's wronged me, I may hold a mild grudge, but I'm not going to sit there and scheme up the next plan for me to get at them.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah. You know, but when it comes to racism, um, you know, we're called to love all, you know, even, racists and things, and racism is a hot topic right now.
Yeah.
Um, it is it's definitely something that you need to tread lightly on and watch what you say,
Yeah, yeah, I feel like the way
Um,
I worded things, I'm
I
sitting here right now thinking of the things I said, and hopefully it doesn't get lost in translation.
Me too.
Disclaimer, everyone:
Yeah.
racism is
Uh,
not okay. It's not okay.
right. It's definitely a sin that you can find in the Bible. Just hatred for another person simply because of their race. And yet again, that's another subject mentioned in episode 5, and how Daniel and the lion's den. Daniel was picked out and hated, and the reason why he was thrown into the lion's den at the beginning of the story was because he was a Jewish man, and the other men hated him for it. Okay, and while we're talking about racism, Jewish people have been under the subject of most racism throughout human history. Jewish people have faced the worst racism. Um, if you think about all the way back, all the way back to Moses' time, the Jewish people uh, were enslaved in Egypt. Then you fast forward thousands of years, you get to the Holocaust. Okay, nearly 6 million Jewish people were slaughtered because they were Jewish. Um, and now you're seeing today with it's either Iran or Iraq and the war against Israel.
Yeah, it's Israel and Pakistan.
Right, Pakistan, and but now you're seeing Trump heal that barrier between them.
And it's a lot
Uh,
of other people too.
yeah, it is.
Can't
It is.
discount the UN. They're helping. They're there.
Yeah, yeah, I suppose.
The UN's there, kind of.
But but yeah, Jewish people have been under, I would say, throughout human history, the most racism out of any race. And if it's coincidence or not, it's not, but they are also God's chosen people, which is something to note.
And may not everyone everyone may not believe in that, but not everyone is a Christian or a Jewish person.
Yeah.
But you should still respect that.
Hmm.
So I have a question: cats or dogs?
Dogs.
So,
All right, do we want to get
Easy.
into that? I guess we all agree dogs.
Bro,
Dogs are just
do we
better.
do we each have a dog? I got one.
I
I
got
have
one.
2 dogs. I have 2 dogs.
Yeah.
Big boy. He's
What's their
a
name?
he's a Great Dane Saint Bernard mix, and his name is Oliver.
Oliver. Yeah, I met Oliver.
Oh right,
When
I was walking the dog and you
Yeah,
were there. Yeah,
bro,
big boy.
I was driving by, I was dropping off somebody, a friend of mine, through your neighborhood, and in my rearview mirror, I'm like, that looks like Taylor. Hey, it is Taylor, and you're walking this giant dog. I'm like,
Yeah. He wouldn't calm down either.
Nah. I don't think he liked me.
No, he does that to everyone.
Yeah, can confirm.
Yeah, Jerry the first few times.
Mm.
I mean, he still does it, but a little less now.
Yeah.
It takes him. Like the more he sees someone, the less time it takes him to calm down. So like when he sees someone at first, it's like it takes him like 3 or 4 solid minutes.
Mm.
And then after the first couple of times, it takes like a minute or two. Sometimes he never does it at all if he sees the person enough.
Mm. What about you, Jerry? What kind of dog do you got?
I have two dogs. One's named Roland and one is named Dodger. Roland is a Puggle, which is a Pug Beagle mix.
Mm.
And I honestly don't know what breed my other dog is. He was originally our neighbor's dog, but we took him in from some circumstances that I may or may not get into. I won't get into. But we take care of him now, and we honestly don't know much about him.
Huh. Yeah, I have a dog. His name's Levi. He's my best friend. He's 12 pounds. He's a Cotton de Tuileries, and it's a breed from Madagascar.
Oh.
Our vet didn't even know what breed he was. Like we said it's a Cotton de Tuileries. She's like, what? What's that? Yeah.
That's interesting. And dogs are just better. You gotta agree. Cats either are lazy or they got an attitude.
I'm biased because I'm allergic to them too, but
it's one or the other. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's one or the other. They're either incredibly rude, scratchy all the time, or they're lazy. Yeah, they don't do anything. You also don't walk a cat.
Right.
So there's the exercise component you're losing there.
That's true. All right, I thought of a question. This one's pretty standard. What's your favorite candy?
Ooh. I would say Kit Kat or Reese's.
Yeah, I would have to agree. I'd have to agree with Reese's. Reese's peanut butter and chocolate, best.
Very good combo.
Best combo.
I think Reese's is the Apple product of chocolate. I would definitely say that is the standard. I would say for chocolate, it's probably Reese's or Snickers. But a lot of people differentiate chocolate with candy.
True.
So what's your favorite candy? Meaning not chocolate.
Okay. Besides chocolate, Smarties. I'd have to go with Smarties. Smarties are really good.
Okay. So this one's old and you don't see it that often, but Neckos. You know Neckos?
Is that chocolate triangle thing you break off?
No, that's Toblerone.
Oh.
These are similar to not sweet tarts, Smarties, but they're a little different because they're a thinner wafer.
Oh.
And they come in more flavors. So right now you can pick them up at Martin's, but it's the only place I've seen locally that has them. They have them in the seasonal aisle, which I just kind of narrowed down where we live further.
Yeah, I try not to do that on my podcast.
Because this store is, well, you said what college you go to, so well done.
Oh, that's true. Shoots.
So, pretty much. So pretty much I narrowed it down to the East Coast, but I'm pretty sure I've said my state before.
Nah, bro, we're West Coast.
Yeah, what do you mean? We're West Coast.
We live in California.
There's Martins in California. Yeah, sure.
For me, I would probably say my favorite candy. Have you guys ever? Whoa!
What was
like
that?
An earthquake. I think that's APG. You guys heard that, right?
I heard something,
I
right?
got my noise cancel headphones on, so I can't really hear anything.
Yeah, I think that's APG testing bombs. I don't know, but
Just further
Oh,
narrowing down where you
oh
live.
no.
no, oh no.
I mean, someone must be blasting the speaker at Jersey Beach. That must be what it is.
No,
Um,
no, we're actually in Malibu right now.
right, right, right. But I would say my favorite candy would probably have you guys ever had the strawberry Sour Patch Kids?
Oh, I think I have. They're not bad.
Yeah, I
They're
think so.
bro, they are really good. The strawberry and the watermelon, you can't beat them.
True.
Yeah. And peach rings are just like those. Um, those are really good too. I like this. I like the sweet and sour kind of candy.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess it's a nostalgia thing for me for Neckos because
Mm,
like back when they were still kind of relevant, my dad used to bring them all the time from work
mm,
or whatever.
yeah. There's a lot of candies that are childhood favorites that they disbanded.
Yeah.
Right.
Like you guys remember those what were they called? Go-Gurts? No, no, not Go-Gurts. Yogos. It was those little yogurt dots that kind of look like
I think I've seen those before, but I
I
never
I
really tried them.
I think I know what you're talking about.
yeah. You got to look
Uh,
it up sometime. You'll know
so
what
it's
I'm
like
talking about.
so it's like a little package of yogurt, right? And it's like,
Yeah. Yeah.
gosh, what was in it? I think it was just yogurt.
I think it was yeah, it may have been. It's been a long time.
Is it Yogos?
Yeah, Yogos, that's what I'm talking
Is that
about.
what it is? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I remember these. They're
Mhm.
like little bite-sized yogurt. Yeah,
Yeah, bro.
yogurty covered fruit flavored pieces.
They took them away from us.
They're on Amazon.
Oh, really?
Yeah, currently unavailable.
Oh.
Hold on. Uh, let me see if I can find them anywhere.
But I think we can all agree that the best childhood snack was Scooby-Doo snacks.
Yep.
Yeah,
Taylor, what's your take?
Yeah, full stop. Yep.
for what? For snacks?
Scooby-Doo snacks, childhood snacks.
They're not bad. They're up there on the list.
Bro, I
Let me
could
see.
sit there and eat them all day.
Favorite childhood snack. Hmm. I'm trying to think. What was it? I used to have a lot of what was it called? Like Quaker Oats. They make this rice cakes. I used to
Bro,
have
I
those.
love rice cakes.
I used to have them all the time.
Bro, rice cakes are smacking. You gotta get the caramel. That's my favorite.
Yeah. Uh, yeah, you could do anything with those too.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, you can put whatever you want.
Yeah, it's so good. I put peanut butter on mine.
Yeah, that's optimal.
Mm. I used to put trail mix and all on it, but
Mhm.
you know. All right, Jerry, what's I talk too much. What's your question?
All right. Fortunately, I did come up with a question, and it's slightly inspired by yours.
Okay.
All right. So I have a question. What was your favorite Halloween costume you ever did?
Oh, that's easy.
Favorite Halloween costume? Let me think. Probably the later ones I did. So like when we kind of just hung out for Halloween, not really trick or treat or
Right.
whatever. But the favorite, well, there was also this other one. Hold on, I got two. So the first one I did was like it was a steampunk kind of thing. You know, I got the vest, I got the cane which broke now. I have it sitting in my room still. It's just broken. And I got the hat. You know, and you know it was pretty styling. It wasn't bad.
I gotta admit that was a pretty good costume.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. Uh,
Yeah, I
there
like it.
was another one, and you're gonna laugh at me for this, but believe me, it was like forever ago. I was young kid. I was child. Okay, so you gotta understand this is young me. So
Okay.
Mm.
so so I had an idea. It I go, Mom, what if I took all the kitchen supplies
Oh.
and made a superhero called Kitchen Crusader? Okay, yeah,
Ooh.
I know, funny, right?
Kitchen Crusader, bro.
Kitchen Crusader. And I had a honing a honing a honing thing for your knives. Uh you know what those look like. They got a plastic handle and then it's a long piece of metal to hone them on.
Hmm.
And it has a blunt end. And then
Nice.
I had a pot lid for a shield, and then a colander for a helmet.
Hmm.
And I wore this T-shirt that had a felt circle, the initials KC in the center of it, and
No way, bro. No way.
it was and then there was vinyl, which were a crossed spoon and spatula. I only remember it because I have a picture on my computer that I'm looking at,
Oh my gosh.
which I'm not putting in post.
I'm
Yeah.
laughing at the. I'm
You-
I'm sure
laughing
the
at
fans would have loved to have
KC.
seen that.
But that was the imagination of young me. Now I have no imagination and I'm sad.
I felt that. Well, the best costume, I didn't make it, but the best costume for Halloween growing up, um, I had this giant inflatable tractor. Okay, it's a tractor suit that you put on, and you walk around with it, and there's a horn that blows on. I love this thing, bro.
That
In
sounds
fact,
great.
with Tractor Day, well, I was gonna plan this big thing out, for our senior Tractor Day, but then we ended up not having it because school
Yeah.
got closed. But I was gonna put it on and wear it the whole day, and it would have been great. This giant inflatable tractor. Um, but
That
yeah, that
sounds
was definitely,
ridiculous.
yeah. I like put on a flannel and a cowboy hat and wearing this giant inflatable tractor. It was it was something.
That sounds absolutely ridiculous and I love it.
Oh yeah. I do one last thing. I do remember when I was like 8 or 9, we went to Chick-fil-A for Halloween because they had like if you were a kid and you were dressed up as whatever, then you would get free Chick-fil-A. And like I love
Chick-fil-A
Chick-fil-A.
smacks.
It really does though.
Yeah.
So I went there just as a farmer in a tractor suit for Chick-fil-A, and like I remember I got this little girl's picture with me, and I was 9, and I was like, yeah, getting all the girls with my tractor.
Did you say that? Did you say that unironically? Because I would
Prob-
totally. I would.
I'm referring to back then, not now,
Yeah, back
because
then.
I was 9 years old at the time.
Yeah. Me, if that was me, I would probably tell that to my mom, and then she would just kind of laugh at me.
Oh no, what have I done? It's now on a podcast.
Yeah, now it's forever.
Now the whole West Coast can hear it.
Yeah, the West Coast, where we totally live.
Man. Whew.
So, Jerry, you never said what's your favorite, unless you
My
did.
favorite. No, I didn't. Because I figured that I asked, so I'd probably go last.
Hmm.
But I'd have to say my favorite costume was 2 years ago when I was Doctor Strange. That was my favorite. 'Cause I
Doctor
remember I
Strange
had,
was that wasn't a bad costume.
thanks, because it was all homemade. Because
Yeah.
I remember looking around, shopping for one, and thinking none of these are up to my standards, and the ones that are incredibly expensive. I was like, I can make my own, and so I did. and I was so proud of it. I even wore it to a Comic-Con type event that we have locally, which I won't name where because we're not giving that info away anymore.
We're
But
not.
no, we're not because we're totally on the West Coast. Uh,
Right,
but
right.
yeah, I was so proud of it. I even wore it back to that with some slight modifications. But yeah, it was my favorite,
Yeah, and
and
everyone was like, "Dude, love your Doctor Strange costume."
they probably only liked it because it was in dark lighting, so you couldn't actually see how low quality it was.
You can see the
But
fact that the cape's a towel.
yeah, you couldn't see that. But I don't care. I loved it
Minor
very much.
details.
Yeah, but I really enjoyed making it, and I really enjoyed the character. He's probably my favorite Marvel superhero, so I really liked that costume.
Yeah, bro. I love Marvel. Huge Marvel fan. I can't wait for his new movie coming out in what 2022.
2022, right? I think that's when they pushed it back to. I've been following up on that quite a bit. It looks very interesting. I can't
It
wait to see it.
it really does. I got a whole theory for what I think's gonna happen.
Oh, that sounds
Yeah.
interesting. We might get into that with another podcast, maybe.
Talk
Sounds
about,
good.
invite you back on, talk about Marvel.
That would be cool. I'd be down.
hmm I would definitely be down for that.
Yeah, before this podcast about an hour ago, or not more than an hour ago, because it was supposed to start at 3. It's now 6. Um,
Minor
I
detail.
I asked for user submitted questions on my social, and I forgot to do Twitter. Sorry, Twitter.
Oh,
And I didn't get any. So
Hmm.
aw.
so this is your podcast, pretty almost weekly reminder to send me questions. Uh,
Or else.
yeah, or else they don't get read on the podcast.
Oh man.
Oh wait, no, it's because Snapchat kicked me out. So
Uh,
I don't know why Snapchat kicked me out, but I think it did it because I was trying to do some stuff with it. Uh,
mm,
I remember when we were trying to figure out the whole thing.
oh yeah.
Right.
Uh, okay, I didn't get any anyway.
Hmm.
So I guess that means we have to stop here. I don't want to stop here, but I have to do a stream in 20 minutes. So
No, definitely you're good.
I do have to stop here. Grab something to eat.
Right.
Do that sort of thing. Anyway,
All
it's
right.
been a pleasure. Thank you for joining us today, Josh.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. It's been fun.
So I will put a link in the description for you guys to go listen to Redeemable on Spotify. Once
Thank you very
again,
much.
I would like to thank you all for listening. If you would like to go down, you can go down in the description. Check out Josh's podcast while you're there. Check out Extra Life. Donate to Children's Miracle Network hospitals. That would be a great help, especially during this pandemic. A lot of stuff going on there. I'll say it again. Thank you all for listening, and farewell.